What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Splitgate 2 developers have done something absolutely phenomenal for the overall game, and seriously, I think that this mode that they went ahead and introduced will easily bring back a massive portion of players who are a little salty with the outcome of Splitgate 2. Is it going to obviously, fix all the lack of hype right now? No, it's not going to be the next big game. But for all the OG Splitgate 1 players, or even for Splitgate 2 players who have been waiting a while for some updates or just anything to go on within this game, this right here is going to be massive. But sadly, although this is phenomenal news, it still seems like it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road, and I hope the developers are open to a little bit of constructive criticism to hopefully, keep things around and make the community happy in the long run. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, I do want to showcase to you guys a brand new segment that the Splitgate team actually pushed out over on YouTube. For those who already know, obviously they do some weekly updates, which they haven't done in a while. But now they have a new segment called Coffee with a Dev, and this one's called Gameplay Engineering. And obviously they're going to be going ahead and interviewing Finest Ben, who has a lot of awesome things to go ahead and discuss within this overall video. I highly suggest you guys go ahead and checking it out. Of course, I'll leave a link to this down in the description of this video. And I really hope that they continue on with more videos just like this, because I think the insight into just simply the game design world is great, not only for those who are, kind of pushing to be game designers and are going to school for game design and all this stuff, but also for those who are just, gamers. It's great to hear this type of information so we can understand things a little bit better. And I think it's good for people giving criticism, critique, so on and so forth, to know a bit more details behind the scenes. But I will say, although, as much as I love Coffee with a Dev, and I hope this continues on, I really hope we get some weekly update videos soon. Again, even if it's not weekly, every other week would be absolutely phenomenal. I understand the devs are kind of heads down right now, and they're trying to figure out what to do, how they want to go ahead and push forward with Splitgate 2. But seriously, those weekly update videos did wonders for the community. Every single time I would hop on Splitgate 2 or anything like that and interact with everyone, that is what, really kind of sparked topics, interest, discussions, knowing what's going to be happening in the future, knowing what's going on right now, just basically where their headspace is. All of these things are massive, and I hope that once the developers get everything situated, we can see a return of that segment. And again, guys, don't forget, they are planning on a relaunch around sometime around December, January, or maybe even February. So, even if it takes a little bit of time, at least maybe by relaunch, we'll be able to see a return of that segment. Who knows? But overall, I'm really happy with what they've been, presenting to us over on the YouTube channel. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the main topic of today's video. The brand new game mode that has been introduced into Splitgate 2, as you can see right here from the official Splitgate page over on Twitter. OG Splitgate is back, featuring 4 community remakes from Splitgate 1. Even starts, no equipment or abilities, and that classic Splitgate feel. Maps include Stadium, Carmen Station, Atlantis, Club Silo, and Genetics Helix. Guys, this is so much fun. You guys know me. I've been saying it since day one. They need to put in a community playlist. That is crucial. And honestly, I'll be real. I feel like it should have been there since day one. And I'm assuming they're probably going to be trying to prep this up for the relaunch of the game. But a community playlist is just great because the lab is such a unique and fun feature. Of course, obviously, we see it in other games. But how many games do you know of that has portals and allows the community to mess around with these portals in just thousands of different ways? The maps that you can play are so much fun. And I've been preaching saying that, casuals just don't really want to hop into the customs. They don't. A lot of people want to grind out their weapons. They want to go for challenges. They want to work on their battle pass. And going into custom lobbies and playing the unique lab maps doesn't give you any of that stuff. So people are just going to go ahead and avoid it. So having a public playlist is crucial. And now after seeing them introduce it, yes, it's outstanding. I gotta be real with you guys. It is so much fun. It's great to see. Of course, they're just remastered maps that, the community has made. But this is the start of something massive here. And of course, this could be something that's introduced that might recycle every week, every couple of weeks, maybe once a month. I guess it depends on how frequently people actually make maps for Splitgate 2 and how, hot the lab truly becomes. But this right here is exactly what this community needed. Again, the developers are hard at work. They don't have time to pump out content. This is how you do so. When the community is bored, when they want something fresh, let the community make it and let them push it out to the overall audience. And also, the fact that it's OG Splitgate is also great news as well, especially with the knowledge that Splitgate 1 is, basically shut down. That is a perfect in-between spot for people who crave that OG Splitgate feel, and then of course people who, kind of enjoy what Splitgate 2 has going on for itself. They can go ahead and play that as well. But this is where we run into an issue, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see right here, I don't know what they're going to replace this with. They might actually go ahead and replace it with, another 24/7 playlist of, a community map playlist. But it's only going to be here for another hour by the time that I'm recording this video. This game mode is completely going to go away. And that is an absolute bummer, in my personal opinion. First and foremost, I think OG Splitgate, again, should be permanent. I really do. Just like how TDM is almost a crucial style of mode, I think OG Splitgate is a crucial style of mode to bring in as many players as possible to make sure people want to dive deep into Splitgate 2. But also, the community mosh pit. I don't think that should be something that is a limited time. Again, I don't know what they're going to go ahead and replace it with. That's why I'm, asking the devs, please don't mess this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love what they did here. Please don't mess it up. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hoping this isn't going to get removed. Like I said, this should be permanent. It should be a permanent addition leading all the way up until the relaunch of Splitgate 2. And ladies and gentlemen, as of this very moment right now, the playlist did go ahead and change, and I am very happy to confirm that we are still playing on custom maps. They changed it to Hunt the Devs, a free-for-all edition. Now, keep in mind, this is only going to be for an hour, and by the time this video goes live, it's probably going to switch again. So, of course, if anybody hops into the game, let me know what it, switched to afterwards. But to me personally, this is a good sign, and we're going to be playing on the Krusty Krab, Infinity Loop, so on and so forth. New maps, creative maps, not just for masters. This makes me very, very, very happy. But again, as I stated, I hope this is permanent because they still seem to have that rotate game mode mentality still going on here. Or instead of giving, really solid introduction that you can play whenever you feel like, it's constantly taken from you again and again and again. I'm just going to say it again. I hope this isn't the case. Because I think when it comes to being able to play on custom maps and a public playlist, that's something people want to be able to have access to whenever they want. It's not something they want to, have to surprise themselves to hop on whenever they feel like it, or they have to be on for a certain day, or they have to be on for a certain hour. They want to be able to log on whenever they have a chance, when they got that free time, whether it's after work, after class, whatever it is. They want to be able to hop on and guarantee that they can go ahead and load into this. It seems like the devs are on the right path. I just hope they stick it. Because as I stated before, having this custom map playlist is going to be great for the lack of new content being introduced into the game. And also, it'll be a great way to get people to try out the lab. To be honest with you guys, there's not much reason to dive deep into it as a casual player. I feel like they don't take the extra step to see what it's all about. And it's a lot more of the hardcore audience who played Splitgate 1 or are following the devs when it comes to Discord, Twitter, and they see that, they're watching other people's creations and so on and so forth. But when it comes to a casual, as I stated, they load up the game, they see what's on the front page, and they click into it. Having a permanent playlist that allows you to see custom maps on the front page would, once again, encourage casuals to see that. They might play that. They'll say, wow, these are actually pretty cool. I didn't know that you can go ahead and, customize your own maps, scroll down a little bit, and actually make their own creations. This will be great for everything across the board. Longevity of the multiplayer experience, while also encouraging people to try out the lab and build their own creations. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Again, thank you to the devs for incorporating this game mode into Splitgate 2. It is just an absolute blast. I hope you guys end up keeping it, making it permanent, because this is great, it's fun, and I personally know a ton of people in the community who love this this community aspect of Splitgate 2. It feels like you are in a deeper part of the game than just, hovering over top when you get to actually witness what people build within the experience. You get to meet the people who build these experiences. It's so much fun. And I think that having a permanent mode to showcase this stuff is just a fantastic idea. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post your daily at 8 morning Eastern Time, and sometimes we double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between Call of Duty, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders. You best believe you'll hear it on this channel. And, of course, last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will be streaming this Sunday over on Twitch as well. So, of course, if you guys are interested, I'll link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.